Hi students, my name's Miss Hesketh and I'm going to be doing your first few lessons of chapter 3. So you should have a success packet and I'm going to just go over kind of our chapter 3 target and our learning intentions and success criteria for today's lesson. So our chapter 3 target is I can use properties of multiplication and patterns to multiply within 100. Okay, and I'm going to show you kind of the supplies that you're going to need. So you're going to need your chapter 3, Understand Multiplication, Go Math booklet, a pencil, and an expo marker if you're going to be using a whiteboard at any time during our lesson. So I'll pause this if you need a moment to go get those things and then press play when you're ready to start. All right, so you should be back, and this is our learning intentions for this lesson. So our learning intention is I can use equal groups to find how many in all. And remember, the word equal means the same value. All right, and how we're going to be successful is I can draw counters for each group, and I can skip count to find how many in all. So skip counting, kind of we're making our numbers into a pattern. So counting by twos, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. Counting by threes, 3, 6, 9, 12, 15. Counting by fours, 4, 8, 12, 16, and so on, whatever the next pattern might be. Okay. So then let's go to our Go Math book. And we're going to go to page 101, and it says lesson 3.1 at the top. So if you need to pause your video to get this ready, you can do so and press play when you're ready. Okay, so you should be on lesson 3.1, and it is counting equal groups. And remember, we said equal means the same value. So in our Unlock the Problem, we have equal groups have the same number of objects in each group. So we have a vocabulary word here, equal groups. That means the same value, the same amount, have the same number of objects in each group. Tim has 6 toy cars. Each car has 4 wheels. How many wheels are there in all? So I'm looking at my problem and I'm thinking, what do I have? What do I need to find out? And what is my question? So first we have Tim has 6 toy cars. So we know how many toy cars he has. I'm going to circle that. Each car has 4 wheels. And I'm going to underline my question. And my question is, how many wheels are there in all? So looking at our side questions right here, we want to know how many wheels are on each car. So if you're looking at a car, how many wheels are on one car? 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 wheels. Our next question, how many equal groups of wheels are there? So that's when I go back to my problem. How many cars does Tim have? Because that's what our equal group is from. Tim has, I circled, 6 toy cars. So we are going to say 6 equal groups. And last question, how can you find how many wheels in all? So if I go back to my success criteria, I can draw counters or I can skip count. So maybe I want to skip count to find out how many wheels are in all. Okay? So I could skip count by 4s because that's how many wheels are on one car. Or Or I can add 4 6 times. Okay, so now let's move down to our activity. We're going to be drawing counters to model the equal groups because we still don't know how many wheels are there in all. So step 1 says draw 4 counters in each group. Then step 2 says skip count to find how many wheels in all. So let's start with this one. It's pointing to the number of equal groups. So we counted 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And that represents the amount of cars that Tim has. Remember, the 4 counters are how many wheels are on a car. So we want to know how many wheels there are all together for all 6 cars. So I'm going to draw my 4 wheels in each car. So that was 2. Now do 4 with the 3, 4 wheels. Go ahead and pause this and make sure that you are adding 4 wheels under each equal group. And unpause it when you're ready to move on. All right, so you should have all of your wheels written or drawn. Now it says skip count to find how many wheels in all. So here we start with 1, 2, 3, 4. So our 4 is brought down here. Now I'm going to continue on. If I have 4, I'm going to come back up here and start with 5, 6, 7, 8. So I draw an 8 down here. 4, 8. It already gives us 12 because 8 plus 4 more wheels is 12. And I'm going to continue to count by 4s. So this is 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24. Okay? And then our next part, there are how many groups with how many wheels in each group. So up here it tells us the number of equal groups. That's how many cars we have. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 groups. And how many wheels are in each group? 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 wheels in each group. And after we counted all of these wheels, how many wheels did we have in all? We had 24 wheels in all. Okay, so that was our unlock the problem. Now we're going to continue on, go to the next page. Now this is an example. We're going to do what we did with unlock the problem, and we're going to make sure we're underlining and circling what we need and what we have. So our problem says count equal groups to find the total. Sam, Kyla, and Tia each have 5 pennies. How many pennies do they have in all? So the important word here is each. Each means that every one of these people have 5 pennies. So Tia has 5, Kyla has 5, Sam has 5. They have 5 pennies. Okay? And our question, how many pennies do they have in all? We're going to underline that. So first question, how many pennies does each person have? Let's go back up to our keyword each. Each have 5 pennies. So we can say 5 pennies. And the next one, how many equal groups of pennies are there? So then that's when I have to look. How many people are we talking about that each have 5 pennies? We have Tia, Kyla, and Sam. That makes 3 equal groups. So we can say 3 equal groups. And this one says, okay, draw 5 counters in each group. So these green circles represent the 3 groups. So one is Sam, one is Kyla, one is Tia. And it wants us to draw 5 counters in each group because that's representing how many pennies they each have. So starting, how many groups of 5 pennies? What did we say? How many people are there? 3. There are 3 groups of 5 pennies. So here it starts to draw 1. So I'm drawing 5 pennies. 5 pennies. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And I'm going to do that in the other 2 circles as well. Okay. And these 5 pennies represent 5 cents. It says, think, there are how many 5s? How many groups of 5 do we have? 1, 2, 3. There are 3 5s. Since this represents cents, so how many do we start with Sam's? He has 5. If we add in Kyla's, she brings us up to 10. And Tia's brings us up to 15. It says skip count to find how many pennies. So I did 5, 10, 15. So they have how many pennies in all? They have 15 pennies. Okay. So let's think. Explain why you can skip count by 5s to find how many. So one way we might think is because there's the same number in each group. Is there 5 in each group? Yeah. So we can say because there are the same number in each group. All right, we're going to continue on to our share and show. And I'm going to do this first one with you. So it says complete, use the picture, skip count to find how many wheels in all. So we're still using wheels. So it gives us a line, how many groups of 2 and how many 2s. So if we have green circles, how many green circles do we have? 1, 2, 3, 4. That represents how many groups we have. So we have 4 groups of 2. And just another way to write it is 4 2s. If I skip count by 2s, I can count 2, 4. What comes after 4? 6. What comes after 6? 8. Okay, so how many wheels are there? How many do we have all together? You should write 8 wheels. Good job. And at any time, remember, you can pause the video and write down what I write so you can follow along. We're going to move on to page 103, drawing equal groups. So this time we don't have the circles with us, so that's up to us to draw them. So starting with this one, draw equal groups, skip count to find how many. So it wants me to know 2 groups of 6. So my 2 groups, that's how many big circles I'm going to draw. I'm going to draw 2 big circles. And I'm going to fit how many inside? I'm going to fit 6 inside. So that's when I draw 6 little circles in each. So this is 6 and this is 6. I can also do what's 6 plus 6? 6 plus 6 is 12. Okay. So now on this one, go ahead and look. How many groups of 2? 3 groups. So how many circles are you going to draw? 3 groups. I'm going to draw the 3 groups, but I want you to go in and draw the 2 in each. Okay, so you're drawing the 3 groups and put how many in each. What does it say? Once you find out how many are in there, go ahead and write your answer on that line. Remember, you can pause at any time while you're working. Okay, so number 4, I'm going to do this one with you, and then I'm going to let you do number 5 by yourself. So count equal groups to find how many. This one gave us the groups. So how many groups do I have? 1, 2, 3, 4. So I have 4 groups. It says 4 groups of what? How many are in each group? So how many little circles do I have in my groups? 1, 2, 3. And since we're working with equal groups, I know that it's going to be the same in each circle. So I have 1, 2, 3 in one of my groups. So it's 4 groups of 3. If I skip count by 3s or add them all together, it tells me how many I have in all. So if I do 3, 6, 9, 12, I know I have 12 in all. Okay. All right, number 5. Remember, count the big circles to tell you how many groups you have. That goes here. And then how many groups of, what are the little circles? How many do you have inside that circle, that big circle, that big group? That goes here. And then after you figure out how much is in one group, skip count or add them all together, and that's how many you have in all. Okay. Once you have finished doing number 5, we're going to do our mastery check. And our mastery check for this one is draw 3 groups of 3 and tell how many. So on a whiteboard or a separate piece of paper, whatever your teacher is having you use, make sure that you draw 3 groups of 3 and tell how many. Okay, once you're done with that, make sure that you are either taking a picture of it for your teacher or doing whatever they want you to do to check that you are doing your work. All right, see you next time.